New Zealand once again have choked South Africa. New Zealand choked South Africa or not, but South Africa put a choke on themselves. Rachin Ravindra, highly talented. I'll be surprised if he doesn't become an all-time great anytime soon. The wicket of Heinrich Klaassen. I just want to put it out there. It was a schoolboy error, Pratham. We have to put a word of appreciation for Santner's captaincy. He was brilliant. Absolute lack of intent, Pratham, right from the start. Bowled pretty poorly. They fielded much poor than usual, South Africa, but the batting was very, very bad, Pratham.
Magnificent catch.
Just look at Badri now, diving into it.
Lovely shot.
Picks it over the offside. That's a good shot.
Back-to-back boundaries.
Hello and welcome to Cricket with Badri. It's another episode of Cric Debate. This video is presented to you by DIVO News. We have Pratham with us. Hi, Pratham.
Hi, Badri. Good evening. How are you?
All well, all well. It's another India versus New Zealand final, Pratham. First of all, let's talk about the semi-final. New Zealand once again have choked South Africa. New Zealand choked South Africa or not, but South Africa put a choke on themselves is what I feel. Did you expect this? I definitely expected a better fight from South Africa, but New Zealand played phenomenal cricket. Right from start to end, Pratham, New Zealand dominated all three departments. Batting, bowling and fielding. Clinical informed New Zealand going into the final. Did you expect this first?
I honestly thought South Africa had a chance, Badri, and I expected a better contest. And New Zealand actually surprised me and a lot of other people. The experts were predicting before. I was watching the pre-game show and everybody was saying, oh, it's Lahore, there's going to be dew. So you win the toss, you have to bowl, which is how Australia, you against England, Australia chased down 350 with the dew. But Mitchell Santner won the toss. He backed his team. He knew they could put the squeeze on South Africa. And in a knockout game, South Africa are not the greatest chasers. We know that. But yeah. I think the game, to be completely honest, was over at the half when they put up 360. It was going to take a monumental effort from South Africa to win after that. And they didn't get the start they deserved. But you use the right word, clinical. New Zealand were absolutely clinical.
Two fantastic players set the score up for New Zealand. Rachin Ravindra, highly talented. I'll be surprised if he doesn't become an all-time great anytime soon. The already an all-time great, Kane Williamson. What a performance from these two. When needed the most, they got superb hundreds. Put a big score. I think a late Glenn Phillips cameo also was needed to get New Zealand to 360. But once New Zealand got to 360, Pratham, I was little worried for South Africa. South Africa, honestly, they don't know to chase, Pratham. It's like they just don't have the format. They don't know how to chase a target.
I mean, the batting lineup is very deep with Marco Jansen coming in at 8, and he's a very capable batsman. But when you're chasing a 360 score at 10 overs, you would think that you try to break the game, at least take the game to the opposition, get to at least 85 for 1, 90 for 1. So no intent. And at one stage, I saw Bahuma was batting on 8 of 27 balls or something. And I really was wondering if the target was 260 or 360. So I was very surprised by that approach.
Absolute lack of intent, Pratham, right from the start. Yes, they bowled pretty poorly. They fielded much poor than usual, South Africa, but the batting was very, very bad, Pratham. You mentioned Temba Bavuma didn't show any intent at the top, but then the wicket of Heinrich Klaassen, I just want to put it out there. It was a schoolboy error, Pratham. Mitchell Santner is their best bowler. He's bowling at 3 for 29. He's bowling really well. You just need to play him off. He was probably going to bowl 1 or 2 overs. He was going to save up some 2-3 overs in the end. But Klaassen going after Santner and losing the wicket within a span of 5 runs. Aiden Markram just giving it a soft dismissal of Rachin Ravindra. That sealed the match for South Africa. So this was a schoolboy error. If you can't take the score deep when you're chasing 360, you're going to be in trouble. I think these 2 wickets, the wickets of Klaassen and Aiden Markram, changed the game.
And I think Lahore was that kind of a pitch, Badri, that you can chase anything. You can chase 350 as Australia showed. And Miller at the end showed with only the tail for support. He brought them to about 50 runs short of the target. So imagine if Miller and Klaassen and Markram had stayed together for any length of time, this target was achievable. And with wickets in hand, you can even chase 120, 130 of the last 10 on that deck. Was nothing happening. But As you mentioned, Klaasen just threw it away, and Santner was already in his seventh over. There's only a couple more overs, and he was not going. He probably would have reserved a couple for a later spell. That was probably the last over in his spell, and you tried to take him down, which definitely a schoolboy mistake. It was a very half-hearted shot. He misread the length actually. He went back to pull, and it wasn't short enough. But I think this happens too often with South Africa, especially in major tournaments and in crunch games. So no amount of the exposure that they get by playing in the IPL or the BBL or their SAT20 is helping them at all.
On the other hand, we have to put a word of appreciation for Santner's captaincy. He was brilliant. The way he changed the bowlers, the way he rotated the bowlers was brilliant, especially in the middle overs. That bringing on Rachin Ravindra was a masterstroke. He got a wicket. He used 10 overs of Bracewell. He just went and run a ball, Bracewell. So, and he himself bowled well. So the way Santner has used these, these part-time spinners, especially in the middle overs, has been impressive throughout this tournament, Pritham. That is going to be a big factor, probably, going ahead. With his captaincy, he seems to make this New Zealand attack much better than what it actually is.
I think Santner is a fantastic captain as well. I've been very impressed with his captaincy, this Champions Trophy. He reads the angles well. He brings on, being a bowler, he's a bowler's captain, so he brings on the right bowlers at the right time. And his bowling form has been tremendous. And he was always a very, very crafty bowler. And the way he slows it down, his subtle variations, it's not easy to hit Santner off, and South Africa found that out today. So I think, and New Zealand have a very decent spin attack. Badri. Bracewell was good. Santner, Rachin Ravindra, as you mentioned, came on for an injured Henry, but he chipped in with a couple of wickets. And Glenn Phillips is more than a useful bowler. So yeah, New Zealand are well stocked in the spin department, and Santner has led them beautifully.
Yeah, Santner's led them beautifully, and New Zealand have all boxes ticked. But I personally expected much more from a team like South Africa. This shows that you can have the potential, but come at the hour, that potential has to turn into performance. Happening, like you mentioned, Pratham, one times too many for South Africa. Once it comes to knockout matches, they're just crumbling under pressure. I think they don't know how to chase. Another one bites the dust for South Africa, but then New Zealand will be having their hopes ahead. They are going to travel to Dubai. Did you have this? Did you have this prediction early on that it would be an India-New Zealand final? Because I feel that two of the best teams in this tournament.
I expected an India-Australia final before the start of the tournament, Badri. I knew New Zealand would qualify, but Australia usually take down New Zealand in the semi-final. That's what I thought would happen. But New Zealand have played excellent cricket. I think it's fair to say that the two best teams in the tournament are battling it out for the Champions Trophy on Sunday. So I think these are the two best teams, clearly.
New Zealand, who have choked South Africa ever so convincingly and stormed into the Champions Trophy 2020 final. Thank you, Pritham, for coming on Cricket with Badri and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Badri. I look forward to discussing the final in detail with you.
Yes, of course, we'll be covering the final completely on our channel. This video was once again presented to you by DIVO News. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon as well. Whenever we post a video, you will get a notification. Thank you guys. See you soon. Bye.